I'm pretty particular about my septic system. That was one of the first things I put on the property because I knew I was probably going to throw a trailer on it first thing. Come on, baby. And I wanted to have something to kind of manage my waste. I didn't want to haul, human waste out to an RV filter. And I also knew I was going to build a house here. So I looked at it, built it to code for the county so that I could use it while I was getting my plans figured out. And I could just immediately move on and start living here. So I have my fifth wheeler. This is what we call a macerator. It hooks up right to the fifth wheeler. And here for me, I am completely off grid, gravity, everything, but I use a lot of battery systems to do things. In the summertime, I have a different battery setup. I power it with the sun, a 12-volt deep cycle battery. But today, I think we'll just use one of our lithium batteries. Yeah, so luckily, I have a secondary battery. This is what I use in the summer. And I charge it with this little solar panel, and it'll passively charge throughout the day. So every time I got to flip the black tank, I'll have it and it's ready to go. Unfortunately, my little battery pack, my EcoFlow River, it was overloading when I tried to use the DC. So you always got to have, 2 or 3 different ways to do any one task on an off-grid property. Fortunately, there's a charge over winter left over, so we'll see how far we can get away with that right here. What's great about a macerator, especially when you're gravity fed, is it takes the pressure from the black tank and it just kind of chops it up. Chops up all your black matter right through here, That's what it looks like. So you just connect this to your exhaust pit. And then for me, I have a septic field as well, and I just channel this straight into the septic. I bypass the main tank and I go straight to the secondary tank because it's already chopped up, and in all honesty, it fertilizes the lawn. It looks great, and it still maintains kind of the water treatment aspect of it. So all of my gray water I put in my first tank. And that's kind of how this septic works, is I have it, all of my gray going to the first tank. And then usually there's a separator, but for me, I use the gravity. I just bypass it. It goes from here underneath the road all the way to my septic field over there. It's all nice and green. I seed it. And the grass seems to be pretty happy. The deer love it. And it's pretty. That's where we have some bonfires, and I'll play soccer over there with the kids when they're out here. But yeah, it's pretty fun. This yellow one right here, that's the old lawn that I was using. And it was just pretty corroded from this winter and hanging out. For me, I just wanted to start fresh after 3 years. I used the same hose. So that one's going to the dump. It's definitely one of the dirtier jobs, but if you can see in there, that's just gray water. And then there's an inlet tube. That's what actually goes underneath my driveway and in my septic field. And this is just kind of the particulate filter. And so when I'm macerating, it's all ends up smaller than what would just originally go down into the filter. So it's actually running straight into my septic field and disperses and percolates throughout that. But today, we're going to put a brand new hose, run it in, and we're going to flip this tank after a winter. I change gloves constantly when I'm doing this job. It is, like I said, one of the dirtier jobs on the property, but essential for keeping things clean and smelling good, keeping this place beautiful. You know, I like living here, and in all honesty, don't really have much in the ways of rent. I like being self-sufficient. I like knowing how to do things, and this is just one of those jobs that kind of keeps this place running smoothly. Always want to be ready for whatever eventuality might come, so I just installed this, and you don't want to over tighten, but there's nothing grosser than like a leak when you get into your black tank. So I stress tested it with the gray tank, make sure that that all flows normally. I'll shut that off, then roll into the black tank. We're gonna do a full flush today. Okay, yep, she got it a little tight, but we'll see. Oh man, that was great. Not too gross, but yeah, I think now we can just move on. That's kind of how she looks. So just to make sure there's no crazy leaks, we're gonna start her out with the gray water. Just give that a little pull right there. Now you can hear it kind of going. Let's see if we can get this sucker running. There she goes. Really nice. And she's pumping just fine. So I think we'll switch on over to the black tank. So we'll just pull this right here. That opens it up. You can kind of hear it starting to go. This is where the fun really happens. Oh yeah. Forbidden milkshake. But it's just running just fine. Doesn't look like there's any leaks. Gonna let her run for just a second. Looking okay. Yep, and I can hear right down here pumping on in to the septic field. So once it has that kind of siphon effect, because it's lower than the actual black tank, I'll usually let it run, and it takes a minute. But in all honesty, it can't be satisfying work. In the winter time, I shut the trailer down, pump all the water out. In the black tank, you know, I still have a toilet in the winter, but the black tank will fill up. So this is a pretty big flush. My understanding with the fifth wheeler, and it seems to be working just fine with me, is like it's okay to let the tank fill up most of the way, because when you do flush it, you have a full evacuation of the tank and you can reset. So for me today, I'm gonna wash the whole tank out, throw some water through it, repump the trailer with water, and then we'll be set for a good while actually. You can hear her going, and this is spring, so the property's pretty messy right now. But just to give you like a quick examination of how this works is like, this is the big tank. This is my first tank. It fills up right to that line, but I just bypass it. This line actually goes all the way over here. You can kind of see where the dirt work was done. This area I'm kind of working on trying to get a little greener. And goes underneath my road, right in over here. This is the second tank. It holds it. This is where all the goop goes, and it runs. These are kind of my clean out systems. I've never really had to deal with it, but you can see how green this hillside is. Kind of happy to get the nutrients, the water. I like it, but you can kind of see right under there, you can kind of hear it going. I'm not going to pull it out, but right now it's percolating down into the septic field. Keeps everything nice, happy, and clean. Just about 6 years ago when I bought this property, it looked like that, really. It was just raw land and woods. You know, if you look out in the distance, it was just scrub oak. just some just woods. And this was the first thing that I really invested and put in because I want to be able to treat all of my black water. Seems like all the real crud kind of went out, so I'm gonna go ahead and flush the gray water through it. It'll backflow and kind of get the solids out. But the thing I've definitely noticed with this is like there's always some goop going in there. So we'll go up to the bathroom and we'll flush that using water. Here's the toilet inside. And so I'll run it for like 2 minutes. That'll just raise the water level. Get all some of the gross solids that stick to the walls and go into the tank. And I'll go back down and I'll flush it again. I'll probably do this 2 or 3 times after like 2 minutes of running water into the tank. Filled her up. Let's see if that goop is collected. Yeah, she's a little brown. But honestly, this is a lot better than I expected. I did a pretty deep clean before winter because, you know, you want to have as much in the tank as possible, much room. But yeah, that's actually running pretty clear. So I think I'm gonna keep the flush at that and then cycle over to the gray water. And I run the gray water second, mostly because I want all of the brown water or black water into the septic, and then I flush the green hose out with the gray water, and it just keeps the stink down a little bit. So always wash your hands after.